G'day, this is Captainoob and welcome to Cottonwood Cove. Population, I don't know, some legionnaires or something. That's not important right now. Let me introduce you to Ashlyn. She's got one job. It's to punch things really hard and really fast. This here in my hands is Grease Lightning, and to give you an idea of how fast this thing is right now, and I'm only clicking sort of slow. I've also got two-step goodbye on standby if we want to make things explode after we get them. We'll get into the details of what these weapons do in a second, but first, let's just, let's warm the shoulder up before we start punching things that are a little bit bigger than your legionnaires. So what we'll do is we'll sneak and get ourselves into hidden, and then we're just gonna launch him right into space. All the way up there. His head has gone at least, I don't know, 5 or 10 meters up in the sky. And we can just keep sneaking like that. That guy explodes. There's another man on the skirt. He must be terminated. We'll send his head flying up another 10 meters. Very good. These guys are none the wiser to the massive slaughter that's happening. That guy screams without a head, which I think is kind of impressive. We'll make that one a little bit more personal, just one to the face. And I would say that after we kill this guy over here, who has no idea what happened, or I guess if it happened yet, let's not let him find out. And we'll be seeing you later. Who said keep fighting? I'm pretty sure you're not in a position to fight anymore. Anyways, so I think the shoulder's all good now, but I haven't used two-step goodbye yet, and I think this is a perfect opportunity to do so. So we'll just go up and punch this doggo in its back, and then we'll run like hell and hopefully not get caught in the explosion. That only did a tiny little bit of damage. Get out of here. Yeah, you could turn your enemies into grenade projectiles should you punch them hard enough, so that's good. Alright, enough practice. Let's have some fun. Righto, so here we are. We've arrived at Deathclaw Promontory, but before I start burying my power fist into some Deathclaw's face and possibly an army of giant spiders, I should probably explain myself a little bit. So here's Ashlyn, the Brawler of the Mojave, and if I can't think of a better build name than that, then that's what I'll be going with for this particular build. But I'll show you what I'm doing here. So first of all, for our stats, it looks like that. So melee weapons, 100. Unarmed, also at 100. So we'll be getting the best amount of damage from that. Special stats look like this. Now, you might be thinking that strength directly boosts your unarmed damage in this game. It actually doesn't. The function of unarmed comes from endurance, which only applies to your base skills. If I increase endurance to 10, I won't be doing any more damage. And if I decrease my strength to 1, I'd still be doing the same amount of damage that I've been doing now, because I've been messing around in console commands and I've found that out. We've got perception at 7. That's at 6 just because I want better criticals, and I've got a bit of extra from the gear that I'm wearing, which I'll get to in a second. We've also got charisma for that as well. Main things is agility is at 10, so that's as much AP. We've got so we've got 95 AP. We don't have any extra perks to get us extra AP, but 95 is actually pretty good. We've also got 10 luck, which is for critical chance. We've got a 10 luck base, 10% base chance with that 10 luck before we start getting into the weapons crit multipliers, which for unarmed weapons generally isn't all that good, but there's one in my inventory that has a pretty decent one. And the perks, here we go. There's a couple to get through here. I'll just highlight, I'll scroll through them and tell you why they're important. Adamantium skeleton, so you don't get crippled when you're punching Deathclaws. Great idea. We've got agility implant. A big one here, ain't like that now. So that's the bad karma perk for your level 50, which will give you a faster AP regen by 25%, and weapon attack speed is increased by 20%, also immune to critical hits ourselves, and there we go, bad karma requirement. So that's good. We've got and stay back, so if we want to double up using a shotgun, we might be able to utilize this to get a whole lot of extra damage out of our unarmed weapons one way or another. We've also got atomic, which we'll get to using that later, but we'll get a 25% faster and stronger when we're basking in the warm glow of radiation. That's cool. Better criticals means I'm going to do more damage when I'm utilizing criticals, which I intend to do with as much luck as I possibly can. We've got big brain. That's not good. Black Widow's there. That was helping against those Legionnaires before. Bloody mess for extra damage. That's easy. Build to Destroy gives me plus 3% chance to critically hit, which is a pretty nice deal. We're going to have our weapons decay faster, but I can deal with that extra tiny bit of chance to crit. That's fine. Finesse gives me an extra 5% chance to crit as well, which is helpful for if I'm utilizing a weapon with a high crit multiplier. I've also got Grim Reaper's Sprint, so if we kill something in VATS, we might be able to kill a lot of things in VATS. We can get some of that AP back, and then in turn use that AP to kill something else. Rinse and repeat. You can have heavy-handed if you feel like it, but less critical hit damage will knacker your sneak criticals, and the penalty is 60% for only a 20% increase. So honestly, I don't rate that perk, but if you want to have that and you don't want to rely on criticals or have a good amount of criticals increasing your damage output overall, then you can have that, but I don't rate it. We're going to get rid of that. Implant GRX, that's good for slowing down time and fighting a lot faster than we would be able to normally. Implant M5 gives us a greater speed boost when sneaking, helpful for when I've got a bunch of light armor perks. We've got a Khan trick, which means we can throw dust into their eyes at enemies, temporarily stunning them. That's kind of cool, right? Also got Legion Assault, which will allow us to do a leaping power attack. If we want to close the gap really fast, it'll be useful to do that. Light Touch, we get that plus 5% base hit chance. That's not going to be accepted into any of the multipliers, but we're utilizing a light armor build, so here we go. Also, that 25% crit chance that enemies suffer from, that's totally invalid now. We've got Nerves of Steel to regenerate AP quickly as well. That'll synergize well with Ain't Like That now. We've got Ninja, which allows us to do extra critical damage, and it gives us some critical chance as well. Very nice. Piercing Strike will allow us to negate 15 points of damage threshold on a target, so I'm pretty sure that covers all of the damage threshold that we get from a Deathclaw, so no armor for them. We've also got Ranger Takedown as well. If we power attack whilst moving backwards, we can knock enemies off their feet, potentially very useful for stomping on them. Silent Running allows us to move at full speed while sneaking without giving ourselves away, useful. We've also got Slayer, that'll increase our unarmed melee attack speeds by 30%, very useful. Stone Wall gives us some damage threshold, which is nice, and we can't get knocked down, so if Big Mummy Deathclaw hits us, we will take it, and we'll be standing. Here's Super Slam. All melee weapons except thrown and unarmed attacks have a chance of knocking down your targets. That's good if you want to stomp on them. We've also got Travel Light, which allows us to run 10% faster in light armor, allowing us to close the gap easier. Tunnel Runner is also there. That'll allow us to sneak faster as well. That's another synergy that we got with a Tunnel Runner and Travel Light and Implant M5 for sneaking. We've also got Unstoppable Force, so if they're blocking, if anything's blocking, generally creatures don't, we'll do extra damage towards them. So don't block, otherwise I'll give you a black eye or something. Alright, so the time has finally come. It's finally time to punch some Deathclaws in the face. This here is Grease Lightning running at speed, which is default now. I'm not boosting that with any temporary buffs at all. That's just how it is, which is pretty awesome. Also worth mentioning that all of your special attacks that you get from talking to people, like the Legionnaire Charge, the Ranger Takedown, and the I'm gonna throw some dirt in your eye Spider-Man meme, they're all sped up too, which I think is pretty cool. But we could make that even faster. But first, I think I've just spotted the spiders again, so we'll launch a tactical nuclear device at them, and I think I've cleared them out pretty well. And look, fighting Deathclaws is a bad idea, especially when you're punching them. See, even in slow motion there, I just got my ass handed to me there. And despite the rate of punching there, I was not able to do enough damage to stop those Deathclaws before they even attacked me, not enough to cripple them or anything. And I haven't forgotten about those spiders either. I see you there. I can see them from bloody everywhere. So we'll begin this again, and before we start fighting proper, a rushing water down the hatch as well, and witness the full firepower of this fully armed and operational battle power fist, which we've launched that Deathclaw. Weirdly enough, you can punch them so many times before they hit the ground, but the damage is just it's okay, but it's not there. It's not Paciencia one-shot critting them in the face satisfying kind of kills, I don't think. So let's switch over to something else. We'll get two-step goodbye out, and we'll start punching. Now, you might notice that the only numbers we're getting out of this thing will be just red numbers, and that's because this thing actually has a crit multiplier of 4 times, which, utilizing our 10% of base crit chance, the Beret, Ulysses Duster, and Finesse, we can get that to 100 with just that. And I've completely lost track of any death claws. There he is. I'm gonna stomp on his ball sack or something. There we go. Wanna hit him? Okay, we've knocked him so far that we couldn't utilize those extra stomps, and we'll just get you out of the way if we can. I think we've switched over to the Ballistic Fist, have we not? No, that was two-step goodbye. This is the standard Ballistic Fist right here. And before you get up, we're going to stomp you. If we get a crit here, 284 damage, and one very lucky stomp. I guess we stomped on his toes and he died. Yeah. We're almost dead. So this is going to be quite the uphill battle, but we'll take a breather for a second. We'll be right back. Couple of stim packs. I don't usually do them, but I feel like there's a necessity here. And if I really wanted to do this sneakily, I could probably get away with doing this in just the nighttime setting. But unfortunately, we don't have that much range. We can punch this guy. An easy Lord Death proc there. Now this guy's looking at me. I'm just going to uppercut him until he dies. Hoping for a cheeky little, I don't know, a crit maybe. We got one crit, 60 damage. By the way, the uppercuts do straight up 15% more damage. And now I'm going to die. Because I decided not to stop crouching before I got up. So, here's the problem. Here's the problem with unarmed builds in this game. You're gonna get your ass handed to you by Deathclaws. So, we might have to suit up a little bit. Say goodbye to Ulysses Duster, even though it looks really cool with the old world flag. Let's grab some power armor and see how we go then. We're gonna lose all of our speed buffs, but against Deathclaws, I don't think there's any better solution. Okay, I forgot I had this mod for power armor. It looks kind of stupid. Yeah, this is why I like it when there's suits and stuff for power armor instead of it looking like some sort of plastic costume pajama getup. Anyways, so we've got 35 damage threshold now, and I am noticeably so much slower. But maybe this would just give me the staying power I need to brawl a bunch of Deathclaws. Our punch speed is still the same, of course, but the ability of moving super fast and sidestepping Deathclaws, not quite the same. So unless we're getting sneak criticals and taking it really stealthily, don't punch Deathclaws. So perhaps we'll try something else. This here is a riot shotgun. We've got and stay back. I mentioned it earlier. There's a reason why I picked this. If I can get a Deathclaw knocked down, potentially, what that means is I can stomp his ass. Oh yeah, that's a total synergy that you may not have noticed, or perhaps you haven't realized. Unfortunately, I'm stomping him with Grease Lightning, which means I won't be able to kill him before I drop, but you know, it's a thing you can do. You can knock him down briefly with the shotgun, and then you can stomp on him for extra damage. So let's try that again, shall we? And please, one at a time, fellas. One at a time, I said. There we go. That's one ready to go. We'll stomp on him. We should be getting close to guaranteed critical. That's 196 damage. 284 there. That's pretty decent. Problem is, they don't stay down for very long, and now there's a Deathclaw behind me, which I can't even attack. Melee is hard without Blitz, I'll tell you that much, but I guess we'll just hit this guy a few times. A couple of uppercuts here. Hopefully, we've got... No. Abort mission. Mission failed. We'll get him next time. Here's something that you should take home and remember. When in doubt, ninja it out. Observe the damage we get when we're sneaking with a Ballistic Fist. Yeah. 695, a shot in the bum, and they are not getting up. So, knowing this, we can easily just sneak around, maybe wait until they're in an opportune place to strike, and then totally miss a shot that couldn't have possibly missed. That Deathclaw's sort of figured out, hey, something's wrong, they've killed little Timmy. But unfortunately for him, he's about to go down. Get him nice and down with that. Bring out Ballistic Fists again. Not that one. I've got so many hotkeys at the moment. And now we can stomp on his ass. 102 damage, and despite him getting up, all of these next attacks will be guaranteed stomps as well. Now, it might be worth it getting a sneak critical, or at least a ranger takedown. Well, that was a sneak critical, but hang on, I don't trust this. No hugs, Deathclaw mother. Get out of here. Okay, we somehow managed to not take any damage from that. But what I was looking to do is this sweet, sexy ranger takedown. Bring it. There we go. That didn't work. That didn't work at all. Well, I feel shortchanged. Next time, I'm not going to help you with your mental trauma ranger guy who sits in the room all day. And I will steal your book, though. That medical science book. Okay, that one's knocked down. You know, I would have thought that you'd be able to knock him down like that, but maybe Deathclaws are a little bit immune to that. And there we go. We've actually managed to utilize the charging attack, and now I'm going to throw some dirt in your eye. That did 98 damage. 98 damage throwing some dirt. I guess, well, you can hear the ballistic fist going off, which is just a double-barreled shotgun mounted to the wrist. That's all that is. And now we can take out the king here. Maybe this guy first. Get him nice and out of the way. And hopefully before this guy notices. Never mind, I think he does notice by now. However, we've got a plan for this, you see. We can knock him down with this. And then switch over to our power fist, no, our ballistic fist, and then stomp on his wrist until he dies. You know, it's a death claw. You got to take out those wrists because if they don't have claws, then they can't get you. Also, I'd like to stress that we're in caution despite all of that, and we might be able to finish this off with a sneak critical right up his bum. So yeah, the only way you're going to be fighting death claws with this thing is if you were to sneak. So yeah, maybe if we fight something a little less scary. Did I say scary? Because maybe I used the wrong word. Anyways, Tiny Tot nukes, get around them. Just gonna blanket the area with radiation and do a little bit of preliminary damage. It's honestly not that much. All right. First of all, let's get some rushing water down the gullet. I need to clean up this menu a little bit. There's too much stuff. And we'll also let's grab Grease Lightning again. And Turbo, that's on speed dial. There we go. There's our rads. Are we doing any damage to this thing at all? A little bit. We're pretty much punching as fast as it could possibly go. Unfortunately, if we want to do damage to it, we have to be vulnerable to its attacks. At least, I think so. We'll try running around it. Tiny Tots away! Feel the power of the Tiny Tots and what the Merv was to Fallout New Vegas. And there we go. Hit that, number 3. And we'll just punch the side of this. He can't possibly get around to hit me, alright? Like, he's stuck. We can just sit right behind him. I'm pretty sure we can just walk around him like this, hitting him. We gotta kill him sometime. I feel like we're doing the damage. I'm just not seeing the numbers. So, I don't know, maybe a bit of confirmation bias. Although, I think he's gaining on me slowly. If he does happen to be facing me at some point, then I will finish him off. But, I mean, we'll get another turbo, then we'll finish him off. But maybe we'll be okay just to circle around. You know, this is kind of... It's funny because this is kind of what happens when you try to kill Earl, and except I'm not sticking. Also, there's blood in that strike. This thing is bleeding when I strike it. That's weird. Robots don't have blood. I don't care how much you think Curie is a human. Robots don't have that. That's weird. Anyways, yeah, so it's like doing a colossal problem, doing it all sneaky stealthy like. What you'll do is you'll just sit under its legs and turn it around like this, and it's not the most exciting way to kill it. Yeah, Grease Lightning, yeah, it's fast, but the damage is just not enough. I think I would have rather have used the power fist at an old time. But we get to disintegrate and explode all its bits around, so that's fine. Alright, so we can do it, but the risk, it's just like the build, I had great hopes for it, but it's really not as good as I thought it would. I got my ass whooped by Deathclaws for like half an hour there, just trying to get something to work. Although there's some good synergies here and there, you have to be pretty quick to utilize them. And yeah, if you've got multiple targets that you want to knock down, then by the time you've knocked down all of them, then one's already getting back up. So you can't really utilize that. It's nice for a little bit of extra damage here and there, but I'd much rather the just lucky I'm alive Paciencia crit build and just shoot stuff for massive damage instead, which is a shame because I really thought this would be stronger. I had an opinion that New Vegas allowed you to be really strong in terms of sheer melee damage, but ugh, it's come up a bit lacking. Anyways, one bonus round. After figuring out Dead Money's position on the load order, I've just added Elijah's Last Words, which is a perk that normally is only available to get for Veronica, the NPC follower, but I've just given it to myself. There you go, Elijah's Last Words. It doesn't tell you what it's going to do here because it was never intended for the player, but it makes your melee attacks go faster. So we're going to have it even faster with Grease Lightning, so just watch this. Welcome to Drywells. I nuked this place, and now we are here with a bunch of legionary ghoul dudes, and with Elijah's Last Words in my inventory, my perk inventory, and Atomic going at the same time, I go that fast. So let's make that even faster, shall we? And probably a couple of stim packs to recover the health that I lost from that. Also a turbo as well, just to make sure I don't die. There it is. We can punch that guy, and as he's launched into the air, we can punch him enough to kill him before he even hits the ground, which is awesome. Also, you can see these guys healing in the radiation as well, because they're all ghouls, you understand. And look how fast we can run when we're sprinting. That guy hasn't even drawn his gun by the time we've ran right up to him. I saw the head tracking there. He totally knew. He totally knew, that guy. He totally knew. And we'll keep the turbo going because I'm going to die to this guy if I'm not lucky. There's Mr. Minigun guy. I think he's got some sort of thing on him, but we are just simply too fast. We can hit him as a cloaked man. Yeah, so I think that was a trade kill, but you get how fast I was punching there. So there you have it, a demonstration of my second and not as successful build. It was a well-intentioned, it sounded like a good idea at the time, but in practice, you just get your ass kicked by Deathclaws all the time, and it's just not that fun. And unfortunately, it looks like this is not the same success as the Just Lucky I'm Alive crit build, so maybe we'll need to go back to the drawing board on this one. But if you want to try this build for yourself and play it on a lesser difficulty so you don't get your ass whooped, then I would highly suggest you try it out, because it is kind of fun, but I'm really pushing the limits to what I can conceivably come up with at this stage, but maybe there's more to it. We'll see how we go. Thank you for watching, guys.